This week on Arizona Illustrated, we visit Pueblo High School's Mariachi Aslan.
I don't have any children of my own, but it's funny because anytime I talk to people, they're like, well, I kind of do have 17 children. Like a proud father, for sure.
A retired sixth grade teacher has his first art show in his 90s.
So I see something that looks like an interesting shape. That's where it starts, regardless of what it is.
A trip down memory lane for a former student at the Dunbar School.
We were very happy children. I don't think we realized that we got the only books we had was used books when other schools were through with them.
Welcome to Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara. It is the first week of August, and that means classrooms and auditoriums like this one here on the University of Arizona campus will soon be filled with students. In fact, most schools are going back to class either this week or next. Now, for students at Pueblo High School's Mariachi Aslan, returning to class means striking a balance between their academics and their passion for playing music. The talented group is led by director John Contreras. They've been recognized internationally, and they won Tucson Weekly's Best Mariachi Band Award last year. Here is our 2015 story, Mariachi Aslan.
Today is an annual luncheon that the home ec class puts on, kind of as a fundraiser. Teachers buy a plate and they get to be serenaded by the mariachis, by Mariachi Aslan, the Pueblo High School.
It's a nice way to get them to see what we do outside of their classes. I think they get a better sense of, oh, they're out performing like this. For a lot of people, that's really good for them, you know? For me, it's seeing the people's faces light up, or they smile when they see the mariachi come out, or when they see someone perform. That's what I like most about it. My name's Yasmin Durazo. I'm 16. I'm a sophomore, and I play in Mariachi Aslan, the Pueblo High School. This mariachi program is a class, so almost every day pretty much. And then we also do 2 hours after school on Mondays and Thursdays. So it's a lot of practice time. That way we stay, you know, consistent.
Stop. When you guys start, you hear that? And it starts like, da-da, da-da, da-da. No, keep it nice and even. Much better. Bam, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, and then we get the tempo. Don't waste too much time trying to get the tempo, all right? The intro has to be there, okay? You have to like hit people in the face with this song. It's a large group, there's 17 of us. It's a family, they get along, they have their spats as well, just like any family, but they learn to come together and make something beautiful, which is, I think is the mariachi music is one of the most beautiful things. It's really neat because we have seniors, we have 17, 18-year-olds, and we have freshmen, 14, 15-year-olds, and then everything else in between. Perfect.
He's like our second father. We hang out with him 24/7. He takes care of us. He's like one of us too.
He's always there for us, not just teaching us in the group. He's there for us. Like if we're having a bad day, we can go and talk to him whenever we need something. He's just an amazing person.
You don't know, your mom's a president. Yeah, it's parent meeting. I don't have any children of my own, but it's funny because anytime I talk to people, they're like, well, I kind of do have 17 children in a roundabout way. On all the songs that you guys like a proud father, for sure. Hey, 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 ha, 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 ha. So, you're taking a breath when you should already be playing. You're like, pop, no. Ba-ba-ba-ba-dum. It has to be right on the one.
2, 3, 4.
I'm Jarrett Young. I'm a junior, and I play the guitarrón. It's the bass of the mariachi. Really nice sound. It's got good, hit to it. It's got a good thump, The role of it is just to keep the tempo, the time of the song, the feeling of it. That's how you really get into the music. Is the way it is played. It complements all the instruments, from the violins to the trumpets to the vihuela to the guitar, to help you feel the piece, the music. The first reason I joined was for my family, for my nana, and I just decided to join. I was like, maybe she'll like it, And then not only did she like it, I like doing it too. I really got into it,
It was really good. You put a nice bass part in there. I don't know what you did. You changed it up.
Hoping that I can probably get into another group after I graduate, because I really like playing. It's an excellent feeling.
I'm Gabriela Miranda. I'm a senior. I'm learning right now. I'm learning the guitarra de golpe. I played vihuela before, but that's the one I'm trying to learn right now. It's part of the rhythm section. Well, it's exactly pretty much like the guitar and the vihuela. We keep the rhythm together.
Okay, much better. You guys feel the difference?
I decided to join mariachi, and it's changed the way I think, because we perform everywhere. We perform in front of people, and when I came in, I was like, I'm not singing. I don't sing. I don't want to go in front of people. I can't do it. And one day he just came. He's like, here you go. You're singing this song. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not gonna say no. But I was scared at first. But once we got used to it, you get more comfortable with it. And in class too, now I'm not as shy, but I still get nervous.
The number one thing too is responsibility. It's not just you. You're not just a superstar. You're not just the one. There's a whole group around you. It's kind of like the weakest link in the chain kind of thing. If somebody's not pulling their weight, then, well, you know what? The whole group takes it down. It's an ensemble. It's not, hey, it's not just one person.
Well, we're all connected, we're connecting together as a group, and we feel more close. So we're all excited, but we do get into the emotions of the song sometimes. You could feel the song because you're interpreting it to the other people.
And then there's times when you're just like, oh my gosh, this is magic. I tell them, if you have 17 people and each one of you guys is on part, and you guys are doing exactly what needs to be done, and you guys are grooving together, that is just a special moment. And you have to cherish those, because they don't happen all the time.
It feels like we've all got this big connection. You get an adrenaline rush, and everyone's just on point. Everyone, everyone's nailing their parts, and it's a really good feeling. It's showing people a whole different side of the Mexican culture that they normally wouldn't see. Sometimes people think mariachis, they think, oh, just 3 fat guys kind of singing in a bar or whatever. They never think about maybe someone like me or any of the other people we have in mariachi. They never picture someone like that. I love it. It's all I eat, breathe, sleep, which I think it's funny because I used to hate mariachi when I was little. I think it's kind of funny how that turned out.
In 2013, MOCA Tucson curators Jocko Wayland and Anne Marie Russell took note of two small paintings at the TMA Biennial, done by the artist Robert Barber. Now, at the time, the retired sixth grade teacher was in his 90s, and he'd only exhibited publicly a few times. They asked to see his studio, and there they discovered a lifetime of paintings and drawings and sculptures, a little disorganized, but pretty much intact. This led to Mr. Barber's first ever solo show at MOCA Tucson. This Emmy Award-winning story was first broadcast in 2015.
I think we live in a world where it seems like, for many reasons, that everything is exposed. And so I think there's an extra pleasure when it turns out like not everything is known at all.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this very, very special occasion. It has been such an extraordinary privilege for our institution to get to know Robert Barber and his work, and truly,
My formula for living so long is to ride a bicycle. I ride a bicycle every morning before I do anything else. I have favorite, what do you call those, dumpsters that I dig in. Here's a glove that's kind of interesting. Oh, this stuff. So I see something that looks like an interesting shape. That's where it starts, regardless of what it is. My name is Robert Barber. I'm 92 and a half years old, and I'm an artist.
there were these two small yellow paintings, and I kind of ran over and looked at them because they just, the quality of the paint surface, and I'm looking carefully and I'm thinking, this is great, this painting's fantastic, and this person really knows how to paint. I'm like, well, how do we not know who this is? And I look and it says Tucson. I'm like, this person is in Tucson. Who are they? We have to find them. And then I look at the date that he was born, and I'm doing the math, and I'm thinking, he's 91 years old. And I turn around to call for Jocko, and at the same moment that I had stopped in my tracks, Jocko also stopped in his tracks and, noticed the same thing.
I've had several shows in Minneapolis back around in the 50s. That's when I was getting my bachelor and master's degree in painting at the University of Minnesota.
So you were actively getting your work out there and it was being seen.
Right, but it would go out and then come back. So when Anne Marie and Jocko came over, I said, fortunately, I've never sold anything, so you have plenty of stuff to look at. Some more car parts. See, they're all mixed up, they're not organized. Tools, more tools. Then I had a relapse and did some more letters. I did a whole series of letters.
On one studio visit, I was out trimming trees because we had to bring the works out into the yard, into the light, just to see what we were looking at. So there was a lot of sort of archaeology and teasing out. And
It was like an archaeological dig.
a lot of it was sort of tightly packed in a small studio. So, I think we left overwhelmed.
Many people wonder how you were able to do so much art. Like, you had a full-time job and a family.
I work fast.
That was a good answer. Like when you were teaching, were you drawing like at the desk in the class?
No, I had the kids doing the drawing. I never stopped doing artwork of one kind or another, and then I married a girl I met in art school, and she was the same way. We both, all of our married lives, kept doing our artwork. And she was just as prolific as I was, and had more commercial success than I did, but we were never jealous of each other's art. We were our biggest fans. I thought of her as being Tucson's Matisse, and she thought I was Tucson's Picasso. It's difficult for me to talk about my wife, but if it wasn't for her, half the things that I did would have disappeared. She always managed to gather up these things and wrap them and label them and store them away. We're just discovering them now.
The entire body of work is largely intact. It's an unprecedented situation to be able to sort of art historically like look at the whole thing and start to tell some stories, because usually an artist will have a career and they'll sell work and their show work and their work will be distributed. He's still making work every single day, and it's like a perfectly intact trove of an entire lifetime of art productions. We were just speechless and a little breathless, frankly. And we immediately, as soon as we left, we knew we were going to offer him a retrospective and hope that he said yes, and he did.
Being rejected again and again and again. I had no expectations of even exhibiting someplace.
The retrospective is a tiny fraction of Robert's work. I would put it at 1% or less.
He's a phenomenal painter. He was trained properly at a moment in time in art school where you really learned sort of old master techniques and you learned how to build up the surface of a canvas. On the abstract works back here, these aren't single applications of a layer of paint on canvas. There are probably 100 paintings living underneath the surface of that painting. And when you take a cross-section of a painting, you realize just how complex these are. Not flat surfaces. They're really well built up.
Unbelievable. I'd never seen my artwork in an environment like that.
His art is great, but it's almost just as much about how he went about, like he figured out a way to make a living, he raised a family, and that didn't stop him from this pursuit. And it sounds like a cliche, but it was like he was doing it for the right reasons. And I think that's incredibly meaningful. He's a living embodiment of a kind of meshing of art and life.
You start out to paint a masterpiece. I don't know of anyone who wakes up in the morning and says, oh, I guess I'll paint a ho-hum average piece of art today. But of course you never attain the goal you set out. I wish my wife was here to enjoy it with me. I think of her every day and talk to her every day. She would say it's about time he gets the recognition he deserves. I think that's what she'd say. No, never give it up forever. Like, I still think about the one I'm gonna do tomorrow.
Since his exhibition at MOCA Tucson, Robert has exhibited several times with Kerry Schuss Gallery in New York, and he's been added to several major collections. Last month, on July 30th, Mr. Barber turned 100 years old and he's still painting. We would like to wish him a very happy birthday. He is an inspiration to artists everywhere. School segregation is a difficult chapter in American history, and while it left some painful wounds, many African American children were able to persevere and thrive, a tribute to their resiliency. Barbara Lewis shares her stories about attending class at the historic Dunbar building from 1942 to 1950. This is Memory Lane.
My name is Barbara Lewis, and I attended Dunbar Segregated School from 1942 through 1950. I remember this room being my first grade room. It's familiar and I can remember it, and but it's now used for storage at the moment. My teacher was Miss Carter. I love that name. And actually, I remember now talk about a soft and loving teacher she was. I never had friends until I started attending school. We were just kind of like isolated, and my folks didn't let us run around and make many friends. So this was like my friends and my little family, and I was so happy to be with them. There was Edwina, me, Herman, Ed Sparks, Bert Preston, Tina. Oh, I could go on, but yeah, I remember them all. We were very happy children. I don't think we realized that we got the only books we had was used books when other schools were through with them, or that we were really deprived. I think if that's all you know, that's all you know. And this is the principal's office, but my goodness, it's so much smaller than I remember. It used to look so big to me because, well, I was little, I guess. I talked all the time. I talked constantly. I think I came here talking constantly. And, you know, okay, Barbara Hollins, go to the principal's office. This is the electrical room now. It used to be, we didn't have a cafeteria as such, but Miss Warrior would cook on burners. We were especially happy on Thursdays because that was Chili Bean Thursday, and we loved it. We pay a nickel for our little lunches and find a place to eat them. This arch is, I'd say it's kind of like our auditorium or our assembly hall, because we didn't have one to begin with. And we'd have all kinds of celebrities, African-American ones that would come to town. Parents that had a profession would come to talk. And we'd line up from under this arch all the way down to the end of the hallway would be kids coming out of each one of these rooms. We would have our Christmas parties for everybody here. It really is nostalgic when I stand here and look down, or when I come this way and look up, because this was our main space until we got an auditorium on the other side. This was 1950. That's me. And let's see, this is my best girlfriend. This, oh, I had 2 boyfriends. I'd interchange them. And they were best friends. This is Ed Sparks and Bert Preston. Yeah, I'd alternate. You don't want to hear that story. This is our teacher, Mr. Todd, and he's 103 this year. And he's still, as far as I know, clear-headed. He was a wonderful teacher, such a nice man. And I can say that they did good because the majority of each one of those classes, the kids are professionals. A lot of doctors, engineers, out from that Dunbar School, which is amazing to me. I don't know, I felt warm and wanted. This is the only school we could go to in those early grades. And this is the only school that black teachers could teach, was here. We were all in this together. The funny thing was that as soon as we got out ninth grade, graduated ninth grade, we went to integrated Tucson High. If I had a magic wand, I would have it completed soon. I'd have enough money where we could finish our library, finish our museum, shore up some of the defects that have happened over the years with the earth moving, and we'd have a lot of activities because we do have a lot of room. I'd like for it to be many things, but for the legacy to remain. I do not want a legacy of separatism, but just let it be known what it was. But we want to be better than that. I'll always love this building. I mean, no matter what happens, but we're going to see to it that it stands another 100 years.
Thank you for joining us here on Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara, and we'll see you in September for an all-new season of Arizona Illustrated.